How do you spot a psychopath or a sociopath or people who generally just lie about themselves? This is something most of us come across in our lives. So, hopefully I can go through this without sounding like a pompous dweeb. Anyways, it feels like one of the first things you generally want to do when you meet someone is establish a baseline. It's hard to get a read on someone unless you know how they're acting normally. So you have this baseline, and they act like this when they're happy, and they act like this when they're sad, and this when they're angry. So you can essentially tell when they're deviating from the baseline of whatever. And this can it can vary a lot from situation to situation. Some people are not comfortable around other people, like in large groups, so they're very shy, but you see them at home, they're a completely different person, right? So most of the first part of getting to know someone is essentially like establishing that baseline so that you can tell when someone's actually deviating from it in some fashion. After that, I feel like there are other steps that you can maybe take, try and figure people out. So, I said this before in a video, I think, and I'm going to go through it again. I kind of enjoy winding people up. And it's part of my doing it is just that I enjoy it. Women are actually the funnest to play with. Their reactions are the most entertaining. But there is reasoning behind this. Generally, what you're looking for in a healthy, honest human being is an organic, instinctive reaction, just like a snap, instinctive reaction from them, right? It can be bad, certainly, if you're making decisions on that, but it's also the sign that they're being honest and or vulnerable with you. They're being themselves. When you see people who are constantly thinking through what they're going to do and say, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're being dishonest per se. It just means that they're thinking it through, right? And therefore what they're doing might be intended to make you perceive them in a certain way or to feel a certain way about them. So I find it a lot harder to trust people who are you say something to them and they're like, oh yes, this is what I think, right? Apart from that, this is generally just good advice in your life. Keep digging. Be extremely overzealously curious about other people if you can, right? And if people are lying, generally that's going to start showing up. You're going to start finding inconsistencies. Okay, you said this over here, but this over here. Why don't those two match up, right? And theoretically, the more you know, if they're being honest, you're not going to have that issue. If they are being dishonest, then you're going to start to see it. Yeah. Anyways. That's how I spot a psychopath 100% of the time without fail. And you can too. No. Alright. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment if you like.